Our next guest has transitioned from 24 years of outstanding service to our country as a member of the U.S. Air Force to an equally successful career as a business owner. Jan Adams is the president and CEO of JMA Solutions, a company offering services and support to its federal clients. And the first thing I'm going to say to you is thank you for serving our country. Thank you so much for your service. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Tell me, when did you enter? You entered the armed services when there weren't a lot of women, I'm assuming, in the armed services.
That's
What
correct.
was that like?
Well, it was quite interesting because I had been married and divorced, and I had 2 children when I went in service.
Wow.
There was a period of time when you had to adopt your children out, but
What does that mean?
Well, someone had to adopt them. You couldn't be the sole person in charge of the children when you went in. So I went in a small window of time when they allowed your children to just be guardianed or have a guardianship by someone. So my mother took guardianship of my children, and I went in service.
How old were you when you went in?
27, the age limit.
Oh, so after 27 you can't go in?
Not on active duty.
I see, okay.
You can go into the Guard or Reserve up to age 35.
Okay.
But for active duty, it's 27.
So what made you go into the armed service at 27?
Well, I had been working with General Motors and General Electric and kept getting laid off, and I really wanted to leave town. I've always wanted to see the world and travel, and I needed something that would offer medical benefits to my children as well. And just the thought of serving my country just gave me a sense of pride and something to do.
So you decided on the Air Force.
Yes.
And tell me why you chose the Air Force.
Well, the Air Force, I would be able to probably, I assumed that I could stay home with my children, not be deployed a lot. And so that was one of the main reasons.
And did that work out?
It worked out well.
So tell me, what did you do with the Air Force?
I was what you call an information manager. So it was first line computer support and some administrative type work that I did. So.
Okay, so you did it for 24 years?
24 years, yes.
And was it difficult when why did you decide to retire? I mean.
Well, I was offered, well, you know, I was getting to the age of where maybe...
Oh, you were young, you decided I'm young, I want to get out. Let's leave it at that.
Maybe age discrimination would kick in.
Yeah,
So I thought it would be a great opportunity to get out, and I was offered a job to come to Washington to work as a contractor.
So I'm assuming you did the contractor job and you said, you know what, I'm going to go start my own business.
Yes, exactly. And the main reason for that was, well, one of my customers suggested and recommended that I do that. And another reason was that I didn't see any minority women-owned small businesses in the aviation community. And I thought it would be a perfect opportunity for me to do that type of work. And it worked out well.
Okay, so you came up with a business plan. Tell us everything you did.
Okay.
Because we want to help other entrepreneurs out there.
Absolutely.
And I always say you're the type of person, you started the right business.
Yes.
Because you started the business that had something to do with your 24-year career, and even when you came out, matriculated out, the job you had something to do with it.
Yes.
That's the way to start the business, not trying to do it the hard way like I did when you're trying to switch, you know, careers or whatever.
So I decided that, well, what really helped me was the fact that I worked as a contractor with the FAA for 5 years before I started the company. So I kind of made a name for myself.
And you had your first client.
Yes, exactly, which was the person that I supported. So I started out as an independent consultant in 2005, and then in 2008, I got my first real contract. It was about $6-point-some million over
I know, I'm impressed.
a 5-year period. And I hired my first employee in 2008.
Oh.
Today, I have 130 employees.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
That is fantastic. You are employing people.
Yes, I am employing people, and that really excites me.
Of course. Now tell me about the business, JMA Solutions.
Yes. So it's my initials, Janice Marlene Adams.
Who else's initials do we want to use?
Yeah, exactly. So we actually provide a lot of air traffic control and engineering support to the Federal Aviation Administration. They're my largest client. They are in the process of revamping the whole air traffic system because it's kind of old and antiquated.
Yeah.
So we bring in people with the expertise to support them to help make the decisions of how they move forward with that initiative.
And I think one of the things that I know I've gotten hung up on as I've thought about starting my own business is, well, I don't have that expertise. I don't know how to do that. But what I need to understand is you know how to manage and you know how to project manage.
Yes.
So then you can hire somebody with that expertise and manage them.
That's correct.
But you got to know who to hire. So you have, obviously, you got your people.
I have a pool of people, and we thoroughly vet people before we bring them on board, because one of the things that our customer really likes about our company is that we give them good people.
Yeah.
And we don't always get it right the first time.
Yeah.
But they know that we'll fix it.
So what's your vetting process like? Is it like the White House? That's some serious vetting.
It's probably not quite that thorough, but
still.
But we do. We actually bring them in for several interviews. We talk to people who know them. And we always like to talk to previous employees. Everyone doesn't want you to talk to their previous employer.
Isn't that the truth?
But we insist on it, before we actually.
But now, a previous employer can only say so much.
That's correct. Well, and then sometimes we'll talk to people who they work with.
Yeah. Then
Sometimes, you get the real deal. But like I say, we don't always get it right. Sometimes we'll bring them in and they're not a good fit. And so then we may be able to move them to another contract. We may be able to bring them in-house and give them some training to help them succeed. But we try to assist them in ways to help them succeed.
So you've had the business now since '08?
Well, we actually started in 2005. That's when I was an independent consultant.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yes, but my first employee came on board in 2008.
Well, Jan Adams, I cannot tell you how much I admire and respect you, and I hope other women and men are looking at you and seeing how poised and sophisticated you are, and listen to your journey and how your journey ultimately led you to this. Because you maybe didn't know this was going to be your end game when you went into the armed services, but it's being smart, and it's taking the knowledge you have and then turning it into something big, and you've done that with JMA Solutions. I'm very proud of you.
Well,
and
thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on the show and encouraging all of us wannabe entrepreneurs, all of us who want to be like you, mini-me's.
Well, thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
I really
Keep up the good
appreciate it.
work.